Hi, this is Circus Fit. I'm Carrie, and today we're going to work on our straddle. Many people always ask me, how do I get more flexible in my straddle? The answer always is, spend more time stretching your straddle. Make a goal and work towards it. But what does that really entail? I created the sequence in this video to help guide you to increase your range of motion and flexibility in your straddle. The challenge is to do this sequence 3 to 6 times per week in order to start seeing results. You can go through it 1 to 2 times in a row depending on how much time you have each day to practice. And you should do this at least twice a week in order to see results, but don't overdo it because your body still needs time to rest in order for your muscles to recover and to gain that flexibility. In addition, there are lots of other things that you can do in order to support the range of motion progress that you're having with your straddle, including diet, lifestyle, and supplementary stretches. Follow the link below to sign up to my mailing list, and I will send you my straddle fact sheet to help you along the way. Also, follow me on Instagram at Sweet Circus Carrie, and I'll give you lots of tips and motivations and inspirations to help you keep on keeping on in the quest for your straddle. Bottom line is, it takes work. It takes discipline, it takes patience and persistence. So do it, do the work, and it will show results. And don't forget, enjoy the process. Breathe deep, feel the feels, go inside, enjoy this life. It's a gift. Important note, this sequence is meant for injury-free bodies. If you're working with an injury in your legs, hips, groin, or lower back, do not do this sequence. Instead, focus on healing your injury first, and then meet me here later when your body's feeling great. For those of you ready to get started, let's get started. Each exercise will have modifications depending on your level of flexibility that you already have. So my assistants here are going to help support that by showing you different modifications for each thing. Sala is going to represent the people with less flexibility. Chloe is going to represent people with more flexibility, and then I'm going to represent the people with the most flexibility. So here we go. Let's warm up. Stand with your feet nice and wide, hands on your hips. Bend your knees and take big hip circles. Make it feel nice and juicy. First thing here, everything should feel really good. And then go the other way. Start to twist from your waist and reach behind you. Kind of imagine there's something behind you want to touch. Try to keep your hips squared to the front so that you feel an active twist through your waistline, bringing your belly button towards your spine. Now, let's do some side-to-side reaches. Feel free to use your bottom hand in order to strengthen more into stretching your waistline longer. So you can have some support like a kickstand below you. Really breathe into this and keep your side body, the space between your pelvis and your ribs, really long. Let's all go over to the left side with our right arm up. Kickstand your left arm to support you and take some big circles back with that right arm. So you shouldn't be in your full end range here. You should be in a comfortable range. And you're lifting your chest up towards the sky, taking a slight twist. On this last one, reach that right arm up and back, fingernails towards the floor behind you. Press into your left kickstand arm and lift your chest up towards the sky. Active, stretch, and luxurious. And then come back up and over towards the left, deep stretch, and come back over. Let's go to the right and left a couple times. And come back over to the right, kickstand that right arm up, reach nice and deep into that stretch, shoulders down, lengthen through the whole left side of the body, right arm is supporting. Make sure your right hand isn't on your knee, but it's really in the middle of your thigh here. And then when you're ready, take some big circles back, using your right lower hand to support this motion. So you're finding some big arcing circles and a bit of a spinal twist, lifting your chest up towards the sky. One more time, coming into that twist, left fingernails towards the ground behind you, lift that chest up towards the sky, pressing into your kickstand, and then come back up and over to your side bend, and take one more each side. Now point your toes out to the side and just take some horse stance squats. So we're externally rotating. We're turning on those external rotators. So the knees are rotating back and the pelvis is rotating forward and trying to keep your spine flat like you're gliding along the wall behind you. Let's do 2 more of these. And then stay down. Kickstand your arms down and take a little twist. One side and then the other. You want to take a little balance here, bringing the arms out, really externally rotating those legs for the knees to come back and the pelvis to come forward. Straighten and lengthen, and then lift your legs up, turn your toes forward, and come into a wide leg forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees here. If you're Sala, in Sala's crew, you're going to take your blocks underneath your hands so that your knees can bend and your spine can straighten in your forward fold. In this first forward fold, feel free to move it around a little bit. You can bend your knees, you can make some circles with your spine, you can shift your hips side to side. Whatever feels good here in your hamstrings and maybe a little bit into your hips and groin. Take a couple breaths. Still warming up into these bodies. And then walk your feet into the underneath your hips. Bend your knees a lot and kind of shake it out. You can hold on to your elbows here. Again, we're working on opening up into our hamstrings. Make your way into a downward facing dog or hands and knees. We're going to move into a lizard lunge. The right leg is going to step forward to the outside of the right hand. Bring your left knee down to the floor and first take either some big circles with your hips or maybe a little side to side. Move it around a little so it feels juicy and good. And when you're ready, you can kind of sink into this stretch. So you might bring your elbows down or you might come up a little bit higher. You should be feeling a stretch deeply in your right hip and groin area and maybe in your left hip flexor. And breathe into this one. Now we're going to tuck the back toes and lift the back knee up and find an active lizard here. So push into your hands to make sure that you're nice and activated through your whole body and your core isn't engaged. And so now we're going to push into the front leg, lift the hips up slightly and roll into a spider lunge. So now the left leg is straight and the toes are facing up towards the sky. You're going to lift your hips up again and come back into that active lizard. And as you wish, in your own timing, you can move back and forth. So we're rolling through external and internal rotation of our hips to prepare our hips even more for our straddle. If you're feeling really flexible and it feels good to you, you can do this with your back foot pointed the way I'm doing it and rolling through that. You're still lifting through your core and your right leg in order to move through your flexibility in a comfortable way and not an ouchy way. And then come back into your lizard and stretch forward into a half split. So in our half split, remember, we want to lengthen through our back, right? We never want to be in a rounded back here. So feel free to bend your knee if you need to, like Sala is, in order to lengthen your spine. And you can explore your range of motion here a little bit if you want to wag your tail and find your hamstring stretch that feels the deepest and the yummiest to you. And then turn out your front leg again, come back into a lizard lunge. And from here, we're going to take a little twist. Right hand to right knee. Press your knee away and open and lift your chest. The left back leg is still active, but not tight. Just activated. Find a nice yummy twist here. Bring your hands back down to the center and straighten into a half split again and go a little bit deeper into that hamstring if you can. So remember, stick your butt out, lengthen your spine forward, drop your right hip down, and bend your knee if you need to. Please don't round your back here. Take a couple more breaths. And then we'll move to the other side. So you can move through downward facing dog or through hands and knees, your choice. And feel the different sides of your body and get ready to go to the other side. Left foot to the outside of the left hand. Bring the right back knee down and take either some big circles with your hips or some side to side, being really careful to make it juicy and yummy and not ouchy. Enjoy it. And when you're ready, you can kind of sink in. You might bring your elbows down, or you might stay up high. Whatever feels the best, like a juicy stretch in your muscles and not in your joints. Now, tuck your back toes and lift your back knee up. And remember to push and use your core and your front leg to lift you up and over into that rotation. You can keep that back foot flexed and lift up and over back to your lizard lunge at your own pace, from spider lunge to lizard lunge. And if you want to go deeper, if it feels good to you, you can keep your back foot pointed like I am and come up and over a pointed foot. So really pole vaulting over this strong back leg. One more time. Come back into your lizard lunge, sink into that for a moment, take a nice deep breath. Draw that right hip down towards the floor, and then stretch forward into a half split. Straighten your spine, bend your front knee if you need to, stick your butt out, lengthen forward. Really feeling, we're looking for the stretch in our hamstring behind our leg. You can wag your tail if you need or want. And then come back forward into our lizard and take the twist. So left hand to left knee, press that knee open and lift through the chest. Activate the back leg so the whole body is involved in this stretch. Nothing's just sagging and relaxing, but we're lengthening long. Take a couple more breaths here. And then straighten that front leg for one more half splits. Stick that bum out, drop your left sitting bone down, straighten through your spine. Toes up towards the sky, get a little deeper into the hamstring. Breathe deep. And then move through to hands and knees or to your downward facing dog. Making our way into pigeon on the right side. So Chloe's going to show the double pigeon, and Salah's going to show the pigeon sitting on a block for people with tighter hips, and I'm going to show normal pigeon. So the right leg can come forward a little crossed in front and bend into that knee. Left knee is tucked underneath you. Flex your right foot, and if you're in Chloe's position, you would flex both feet. And with Salah, she's putting that block right underneath her right butt, and the other block can come in front to support her hands. We're just going to hang out here for maybe 20-30 seconds, and if you want to hang out here longer, you can always pause the video. And breathe deep into that sensation. You should feel the sensation somewhere in your right butt, groin, hip area. You can go deeper into it, and if this one is really easy for you, you can take it a little bit deeper by bringing your left elbow under towards your right front knee and coming into a twist, if that feels right for you. Only if you want more. And moving into the second side, slowly slither yourself out of that and take a little tail wag or move through your spine a little bit, and then make your way into the left side. Left leg in front or left leg on top. Cross it over, bend it into it, and that right back knee is nice and square down towards the floor. Left foot is flexed. You can stay up high if that feels good, as long as you're feeling a good stretch, or you can come low. And if you want to go deeper, take that right hand and scoop it under towards the left knee and come into a nice twist. Take a few more breaths wherever you're at. Close your eyes, go inside. This is a really great place to really go into the feeling sensations of your body. Imagine your muscles softening. Imagine your muscle fibers opening up and creating more range of motion. And then make your way out of that. Oh, and move it around. Wag your tail, maybe a little disco kitty. Mariposa. Bring the bottoms of your feet together If you can't sit up straight in a butterfly, you can sit on a block like Sala here. Make sure your spine is nice and long, and then from there, take some circular movements with your spine, your lower back, and feel it juicing up a little bit, and then go to the other side. Pressing your knees down, lift your spine up nice and tall. And then we're going to hang out here towards a forward fold. We can show a few variations. Chloe's going to show a twist. And I'm going to show an active variation where you draw your arms up towards your ears and lengthen your spine and come actively forward. Keep thinking about lengthening your spine. Keep thinking about coming forward no matter where you are. If you've gone active, you can come and bring your hands to the floor. Bring your legs forward and shake that out. Hooray! We've made it to straddle! So everybody come into a sitting straddle position. If you're in your straddle and you can't sit with a straight spine, sit up on a block like Sala is. Here we're going to start with some knee straighteners. So if you want to, you can put your hands behind you like a kickstand to help you remember to sit up tall. Okay, let's start with flex foot and straighten and relax. So for a lot of people, if you're not sitting on a block, your heel might come off the floor when you straighten. If it doesn't, that's okay. And if you want to add more, you can try doing this with pointed toes. So sit up nice and tall, keep your knees really straight, and imagine that you want to open your legs even wider, like you're pulling your legs back. This will activate the outside of the legs and butt, and then come forward into your first pancake. Try to keep your spine nice and long here. Legs are still nice and long and activated, and you're stretching forward, keeping your spine long. You might come all the way down, or you might be up here. Another thing you can do here is take one hand at a time back and try to externally rotate that leg. Remind that leg and that hip to open up. Take a couple more breaths in our first pancake here. If you want to play with flexing and pointing through the feet, you can do that. Then come on up, and let's take a side stretch up and over the right leg, right arm in front, and we're aiming that right bottom shoulder in front of the right knee. Lengthening long through both sides, still activating both legs, left sit bone on the floor. And reach that right hand more in front of you and push into that arm and take that nice active twist that we did standing up in the beginning, opening the chest up towards the sky, left fingernails towards the floor behind you. Lift and breathe into this stretch. Activate the whole body and lengthen and stretch. Now, keeping that feeling of that twist, allow that right shoulder to come back down in front of that right knee and come deeper into that side stretch. Breathe into that side body. Keep both sitting bones on the floor. And then come on up. Go to the other side. Right arm up and over towards the left. Left shoulder towards the left knee. Activated legs. Breathe into that side body. Lengthen both sides. Then press that left hand in front and take a nice big opening arch, right chest up towards the sky, right fingernails towards the floor behind you, opening through the pec muscles, the shoulders, active twist in the spine, nice strong legs. And now bring it back down, left shoulder in front of or on top of the left knee, right arm reaching up and over and stretch long, both legs are activated, right sitting bones towards the floor, right waistline lengthening. One more deep breath here. Lift it on up. And take another pancake forward. Let's shake out the knees first. And then activate everything. Maybe open up a little bit wider. And then come on forward to your pancake. You might feel more open in your pancake now than you did in the first one. Just stay inside and stay connected. Keep that body reaching nice and long. Stay focused in on the sensations. So we're really kind of working towards that edge, right? We're working on getting more comfortable with the edge of our flexibility in a way that we're not going to move too fast past it, that we're going to kind of ride it so that we can become friends with that edge. so that we don't hurt ourselves, but we keep moving towards our goal. And come on up, sit it up, and shake it out. And sit up nice and tall. We're going to take a stretch up and over our right leg. So square your hands over your right leg and stretch forward. Bringing your nose towards your shin of your right leg. And remember to reach that left leg long. If this stretch feels pretty good and you can keep your back straight and you're sitting on the floor. So if you're sitting on the block, you're going to stay there. If you're not sitting on the block and you feel easy in the stretch, you're going to bring your hands over your leg and lift that leg up and hold for 5, 4, 3, knees straight, 2, 1. If that leg doesn't come all the way up, you can always just activate it as if you're going to lift it up, and that's okay. Now let's go over to the left side and frame your leg. Come on over with a nice straight spine, reaching your nose towards your shin. Nice long line. So we're not rounded, we're lengthened, and we're folding in half from the hip. Right sitting bone on the floor, right leg activated. And if this feels easy and you're sitting on the floor, you can come on up, frame your leg, and lift your leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, shake it out. We're going to do one more pancake. When you're ready, you can point or flex. I'm going to flex this time. We'll come forward into our pancake. Maybe you even open up a little bit wider before you come. Take some breaths. Maybe here you're going to take a little bit of variation, moving from one side to the other, feeling those muscles in your inner thighs and groin and hamstrings starting to soften and lengthen. Imagine that. Breathe deep for 3, 2, 1. And come on up, sit it up, and shake it out. Make your way into Froggy. One great way to do that is to, if you have a wall, is to put your feet flat against the wall like Salah's doing, or you can just open your legs like Chloe's doing. So the idea is that your hips are between your knees. So sometimes their hips will be too far back towards the wall or behind them, and sometimes people's hips will be a little too far forward. And what we want to make is a straight line from knees to knees with the hips right in between. Chloe's doing a great example of this here. And here she can play a little bit with moving her hips around if that feels good. And she can also play between pushing her hips a little in front of the line and a little bit behind the line. So she can come a little forward and a little back. So from here we're going to do a little active release, and which means you're going to push your knees into the floor and imagine you're going to try to slide them together for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release that and sink into your Froggy. We're going to do that 2 more times. Ready? Engage. Push your knees into the floor and imagine you're going to slide them in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release and sink into your Froggy. One more time. Here we go. Pushing your knees in, slide them together for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sink into that Froggy. We're going to hang out here for about 10 to 15 more seconds. Nice deep breathing. And now you know, if you're feeling like you're too close to your edge right now in your Froggy and it's really severely uncomfortable, use your arms to help you, use your legs to help you, and just lift up a little out of that ouchie area, those muscles we just engaged, and try to hold it there. And then make your way out of that. You might want to rock yourself forward or push into your legs and then move it around. Chloe's doing a really good suggestion here of some shin boxing, lifting one leg up and the other to rotate into those legs. Next exercise, we have some options. So if you're in Salah's group, you're going to do a figure 4 laying on your back against the wall. And you're using the wall on your bottom leg in order to give you leverage so you can get a deep stretch into your working leg without putting too much effort into it, because we've already been working pretty hard. And so the closer your bum is to the wall, the deeper you're going to feel the stretch. And you can make adjustments, and this should feel really good. You're going to feel a deep stretch. You can hang out there for a little while and then switch to the other side. And if you're in Chloe's group, we're going to keep working on active straddle. So Chloe's laying on her back, and her legs are in a nice straight line all the way through her pelvis to her feet. And she's doing some pulses. She's been doing some circles with the legs. And she's really trying to activate the long straddle with straight knees and pointed toes here. She could also flex her feet if she wanted to find variations. Another thing she can do here is take her hands onto her legs and pull herself into a nice assisted reclining straddle, reaching her feet and legs towards the floor, and she can V it out into this reclining pancake position where she's really trying to fold herself in half and bring her feet to the floor on either side of her head. So she's activating her legs, and now her arms are coming in to spot her to go even deeper into it. Whereas the circles here are really trying to activate working around that end range mobility of her active straddle. And so you can keep doing this. If you haven't already changed to the other side, if you're in the qual pigeon, you can do that. And if you're in the active and you're ready to take a break, you can even bend your knees and come into any version of a happy baby or knees to your chest and kind of breathe it out for a moment. Moving into our final straddle of the sequence. So we're going to sit on our bums and open our legs into straddle and try and go a little bit deeper. If you're ready for it, you can lift your legs up onto some blocks or some rollers or some books or whatever you have. And if not, if you're in Salad's group, you're going to sit on your blocks. If you're in Chloe's group, you're going to sit nice and flat. Find our end range where we're at here. Activate our legs. You might want to do 2 or 3 knee straighteners in order to just feel that activation. Maybe a couple point and flexes with the feet. Find that activation. Sit up nice and tall and come forward into our pancake. Remember to lengthen through your spine.
No rounding here.
No rounding. Lengthen through your spine. It doesn't even matter if you're barely coming forward at all. As long as you're feeling a stretch into your straddle, that's fine. We're increasing the range of motion little by little, right? Breathing into this strong sensation. Take one more deep breath here. Really focusing in here to the sensations of the body and riding that edge. Sitting up nice and tall, reactivating those legs. Let's go to a side stretch over to the right side. Same thing that we did before. We're just doing it again. We're reaching longer. We're training our muscles, right? We're doing it again to remind our muscles this is what we're working towards. If you want, you can take that activated arch if that feels good to you. And go back into your side stretch. Reach, reach, reach. Lengthen through both sides. Coming on up to the other side. Same thing we did before, but deeper. Keep breathing, lengthening, stay active and lengthened in your body. Feel those muscles opening. If you want to take that activation into the arch and the twist, you can. And then go deeper into that side stretch, lengthening through both sides, right sitting bones towards the floor, both knees straight, both toes pointed. And sitting up nice and tall, activate everything, and then reach forward with a straight spine. One more time here. We'll stay here for about 20 seconds, reach long. If you need something to do, you can close your eyes and deep breathe. You can flex and point your feet. You can think happy thoughts. You can slowly count inside your head. Breathing. Let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sitting up nice and tall. Oh, bring that in, relax, and shake it out. Okay, moving into our last froggy. So just go back to where you did before. Bring your knees apart, your feet nice and flexed. You can use a wall to help guide you. And if you want to do your froggy with straight knees, meaning a straddle splits, you can do that, and I'll show that version here. You can use your hands on the floor, your elbows on the floor to prop you up, and make sure you're activated and long so you're not putting pressure into your joints if your knees are straight. We're just going to hang out here. You can go a little bit forward and a little bit back of your split. Take some nice deep breaths. Sing into it. You can always look back here if you're in a froggy and check out to see where your hips are in line with your knees. Remember, the middle split is with our hips right between our knees or right between our feet if our knees are straight. bringing our pubic bone towards the floor and letting our knees slide out towards the sides. We'll hang out here for 10 more seconds. Last deep breaths here. Go inside, feel the sensations, feel your body. Three, two, and one. Slither on out of that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here you might want to do some shin boxing or some stretching into those hip muscles that just got stretched in a way that feels good. If you have a lot of extra time today, you can rewind the video and start over again somewhere around Pigeon o'clock and do all of this again. And if you're ready to call it quits for today, you can move into a passive straddle against the wall for your last exercise. And so to get into that, you're going to sit against the wall with your hips all the way touching the wall and just kind of swivel yourself around so your sitting bones are against the wall and your legs are against the wall there. And then open your legs on the wall. So you're really in a passive straddle. Get your best friend involved to keep you company. And then really just let your legs fall down towards the floor. Here's a great time to go into a meditative state. You can go into some deep breathing, put on your favorite song, something that lasts anywhere between 3 and 10 minutes is great here, depending on how much time you have. Go into a nice, soft, restorative place and just let everything kind of sink down towards the floor into gravity and try to enjoy. And then when it's time to get out, you might need a friend to help you out of it, or you might need to use your hands to get yourself out. So enjoy this time, and I'll see you again soon.